How's it going, people? He's alright. There's a fucking ghost town about here. I see that there's a bit of a purge going on YouTube. I'm not getting anything up on the feeds at all, hardly anymore. What are we getting? I wasn't going to come on this evening, but I was kind of bored, so I thought I would type in flat earth, globe earth, and see what came up. And not very much, to be honest with you. So, oh, wait to see this. Wait to see these two absolute fucking gimps. Look at the state of these two clowns.
God rest ye merry scientist on Flat Earth Friday's day.
What a complete and utter shitstain!
Come run with us and celebrate upon a Christmas sleigh. I don't know why I'm
What the
singing
actual
now.
fuck? What the fuck is wrong with these pair of gimps, man? What is the matter with you two? Honesty, fuck.
Really do not know.
It's heartwarming to speak in rhymes on the
Is this a wee fan dan that fucking helps them with their videos? Is it you, Sunshine? Do you help them? Huh? Because they pair of fucking gimpy swines are no clever enough. They must need help. You must be their help.
Christmas show.
100 episodes.
100 episodes of pseudoscientific bullshit. The same old linguistical crap. You have absolutely no proof for your concept. It is a mathematical concept, the sphere Earth. It's not a real thing. It's no three-dimensional tangible object floating about in a vacuum. You complete and utter spastics. So I don't know what you're all proud of yourself for. Seriously deluded fucktards, these pair of gimpy swines. Look at the state of them.
Made 100 to behold. 1333 minutes.
Oh, did Clever see what he did there?
We've grown 100-fold.
You've grown 100-fold because fucking you're helped, you wee spaz. Right? Because you're part of a fucking cult. For whatever reason, this cult exists. We'll get to talking about that. But you get helped, you wee fanny. You've not got a spine and neither's your wee pal. You don't have science. You don't have anything. No science in what I regard as practicality. The science these clowns in the globe has as mathematical equations, concepts, interpretations of intangible phenomena. Weirdos, creepy wee cult lunatics trying to masquerade about the place as if they've got a grasp on reality. Lost wee souls. Idiotic little entities that don't have a fucking cunt's clue about what is going on.
We've made some friends, we've shared some laughs, we wonder what comes next.
Oh,
Fuck all, sack snuffer. What comes next is people like me hammering on, making an absolute cunt of the likes of you. The only thing you're gonna do is make idiotic wee videos again and again and again. Regurgitating the same old rhetorical crap that you always did. Ships going over curvy water, circles in the skies and stuffs, reasons.
tidings of science and logic.
Tidings of science and logic. Let's clarify what you mean by science, shall we? Because you ain't talking about practicality, real world demonstration. You're talking about language. And your logic is in there as a formal science. Language based. How about you shut your fucking mouth and start providing us all with some tangibility, some actual demonstrations, and maybe some, I don't know, maybe some measurable curvature? How about that? That would be great.
Science and logic.
All tidings of comfort and joy.
what a dweeb this boy is. There was another video he's on with his missus, trying to identify flat earthers. What a sad existence you've got, Sackrash. Huh? Where do you find all the time to edit all these videos if you're not getting help? Huh? Do you ever spend time with your partner and your children or any of that kind of stuff? Probably no. That's probably why your missus is out the new getting banged silly over somebody that knows how to deal with her. Oh, look straight in the camera with a wee smirk. You're still a lying piece of shit, son. You get views on YouTube all you like. That doesn't make what you say the truth. In order for me to accept what you're saying is the truth, you require some practicality. I'm still waiting. Remember that first video you made and you said you were up for it? Where are you? Still waiting. Many years is that, son? Run away. Run away. What a pair of gimpy wallopers. I wonder if that's going to be there when I... What is? What? Oh, that's a wee change. Usually it's gone instantly. Total nonsense. What can you say? What can you say? Hello everybody, how you doing? I don't know who watches them, but they're probably still being supported by YouTubes. I did, Jennifer Spengler. I just spoke about that, him and his wife try to identify people. Again, this is the thing with this globe cult. This is what it has. It reverts to subjective, emotional influence by constantly trying to judge, pass judgment, slander, misrepresent people at a subjective level. Because it's idiotic. Again, having to point this out to people, you're dealing with a manipulative cult. A cult that relies on sophistry, slander, emotional manipulation, propaganda. It's an agenda, it's an idea that they have to support and they have to push through various methods. If the globular earth was true, it would be supported by real world demonstration, fact. No propaganda, no slander, none of that stuff would be going on. They talk about logic and reason as if they own it, yet they never utilise it, never put it into practice. People come at me and they say, oh, but you called him a cock sniffer. Look, there's a difference. We see when people say, ad hominem, I'm not trying to sway anybody by an argumentation when I call somebody a cock sniffer. That's not what I'm doing. It's not in the setting of a debate format. So, it's not about ad hominem, because I'm not trying to sway you by rhetoric. It's not a game to be won or lost. When I call people like cock sniffers and arse rags and toe rags, it's because they're displaying that they're liars. How do I know they're liars? Because what they claim about the real world doesn't stack up in the real world. Challenge anybody to go to any of these people's channels and find me some sort of practical reference that supports a globular earth concept. It's not there. So what's their game? How are they going to go forward now? Silence people. Oh no, less viewers on YouTubes. Oh dearie me. Sick of telling people. Never mind YouTubes. What are you doing in the real world? Are you speaking to people? What are you speaking to them about? What claims are you making? Do you understand the topic? Do you understand the language of global nonsense? Because that's where your focus has to be. once you understand how to point out the total absurdity and the methods that the globe uses, then that's it. They run about trying to ridicule and act like, you know, they've got the upper hand by ridicule. The only thing being laughed at is the globe by the people that matter, the people that are smart enough. If you get your kicks out of the chaff, people who are dumb, carry on. If you can get satisfied by that, brilliant. No worries, fart pants. She would bitch slap you, make you cry, like the wee lassie that you're. Okay? Of course I mock. Of course I mock. What I don't do is lie about people and tell lies about the objective reality that we share. Oh yeah, anyway, Tony Dixon. Illuminati devil. Have you ever considered using fallacious reasoning and sophistry to get people to believe flat earth? Nothing else that could show how they can be manipulated. I've made points of it. I have made points of it. I need to take this off when I start sweating. Probably got an old scabby t-shirt on and I don't give a fuck. Again, this is the, I'm going to start talking about a lot of this, spoke about it before, the subjective, objective thing. You know, psychology, and you know, the whole thing about this globe earth, you know, and the manipulation of the system that we have depends solely on your fear and your exclusion from the majority. They hope that you care about what other people think of you and other people's opinions, yada yada. So I keep trying to say to people, look, I can intellectually have a discussion with you and reason with you to realise that you're part of the infinite and the eternal. Now, to try and put that scope in your mind, you know, and then weigh it up against idiotic fellow human beings with subjective opinions about you and why it would ever matter to you, we have to have that discussion. What pricks in chat? Ah well, same old then. Weather moves, don't mention weather, fuck's sake. There's nothing but pish down here again, it's the same thing. You know, we get to spring, the temperature seems to go up, seems like it's getting warmer and we're going to have nice weather, then bang, temperature goes bump down. And it just rains endlessly. It's the total opposite when we come to winter. It's getting freezing cold, freezing, ice. All of a sudden, temperature up, raining, endlessly, for 3 weeks in a row. It's brilliant. If you want to trigger me properly, talk about the fucking weather. I can't stand this place. Guys, how you doing, mate? Hello, everybody. So see, I'm only on waffling. I'm going to get back to some proper stuff once we get by this period. It's been quite a hard time for us here recently, so I've been preoccupied with other stuff. But I can see some light at the end of that tunnel. I'll be back hammering these idiots. Pissing down all over Europe, is it? Hang on a wee minute. To get my wee tiny violin out. You like other sentients they need an environment to live in. What do you mean by environment? What are you talking about? The infinite and eternal can be navigated? Smashing. That's smashing. How can you navigate it? How are you ever going to fathom it out? And would you want to? Let's ask these questions. Let's weigh up the possibilities. Well, that'd be great. She get helicopters. That would be absolutely fantastic. Win the lottery, get me to the sun. I would be forever grateful. I couldn't give a fuck about all that politics crap. It's the same in, you know, Mark of Melbourne made a wee response video to me when I was talking about anarchy and how for me it starts in the mind. And that's where it has to start. You know, and then people talk about aye but systems of, you know, there's different factions and, you know, systems of thought, like anarchy is a social philosophy, right? But there's the problem, because it's in the title. You know, people think it's a given that we would live in a society. Why would you think that? Why is it that people feel the need that that's what has to happen? I don't know why I was saying that. I'll probably come back to it. Use the force. You know, XD in the EU, what difference does it make? Are you still a slave to the system that you were born into? Is it ever going to change? Is this it? This is the height of the human being's imagination, yeah, and desires to get a better job, to have better money, so that they can buy a limited freedom. Because even if you become a multi-millionaire, you're still restricted. You're still within the confines of the set out geometric area that you're allowed to know about. I'm sick of this crap with people. I don't know why, you know, it's like battering your head off a brick wall. Look, nobody knows where we are right now. Nobody knows why we're here, how it came to be, the true chronological sequence of events, and the real chronological sequence of our history in regards to this area, and I use that term area. Everybody wants to talk about how they're going to make it better, or yada yada yada. Only way for me to have progress is to find out more about what this place is. Now, as far as I can tell right now, that means that perimeters of where we're allowed to access have to be breached. It's a construct, it's a whatever, fine. How are we going to fully understand it if we can't get to the limitations of it, if there is limitations, which I probably think there is, for various reasons. People talk about an infinite plane. As I've pointed out a few times before, they talk about it in a lateral sense, across the way. What about up and what about down? How would that work? It would have to be infinite in every direction. Doesn't make any sense to me. So then we're faced with the problem, the issue. What if it is some sort of enclosed system? I've mentioned this before. Maybe that's the reason why this globe concept was pushed in the first place. Maybe there is wee areas that they want to keep for themselves. Could be a possibility. But you've also got to take into consideration the fear factor. How would the human mind, how would the stability of a human, how would they react if it was shown to them that they were in some sort of isolated chamber and that nobody knew what was going on out with the chamber and it was impenetrable? What do you think would happen? Thoughts on a postcard, please. Would you be able to cope with it? Never mind the bravado. Aye, no worries, I could cope with it. Think about it, ponder it for a wee second. If we were isolated here, and there was something going on outside, but nobody really knew what was going on, how do you think you would deal with that? Exactly, no story now. What happens to animals in a zoo? Become dysfunctional. Still get massive questions about the different races of peoples, the complexity of life, the animal kingdom, where it all came from. If you just isolate human beings and the distinct differences in the races of peoples, what's going on? I said that before about the evolutionary story. I can see it in reverse. I can see that we cascaded down from figureheads, prototypes. Well, that's what I think. People would start feeling trapped. It would result in mass panic and widespread hysteria. Because if you take it and you ponder and postulate that that was maybe the truth, right? You think about how people would react to that. So when you look at the heliocentric model, that space is an infinite place, right? But you make things far enough away so that in reality, as the generations move on and people die, they're never going to achieve ever experiencing these places. But somewhere at the back of the mind, they're satisfied that there's a possibility, right? So it's like a story that's been created to appease that part of the psyche, that there's a possibility of going further, that we're not isolated. And maybe that was a reason for why it was put into play. Maybe they did make discoveries of the isolation. I'm not saying domes or any of that stuff. Could be any kind of construct. I would think more along the lines of cube shaped, but that's just me and my contemplations. It's always the same, you know, what does it matter? What matters hugely, as I say, never mind, you know, talking to them about the shape of the earth. Ask them the question, well, if you don't know where you are, you don't know what it's about, you know, it's like everybody's running before they can walk. You've been sold this, oh, life's a mystery, it's precious, you need to cling to it, you need to keep going, you need to keep going. And people never stop to think, what is this I'm living? What are these habitual practices that I'm partaking in? What do they really mean? What are they rooted in? What's driving them? Why am I focused on them? Why am I chasing them? If I gave you a board game with bits and bobs and no rules, you could probably make up your own game. Fine. But you would never know the real reality of the game. And again, I've said it so many times before, the meaning of life, the meaning for me is only experience. There's the meaning, an experience. Yes, you're chasing somebody else's ideas. Genesis is a strange account. In the beginning, heaven and earth was created, job done. Now it becomes a waste and desolation in the next verse. I thought it says in the beginning was the word. It's just me though. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. I think so too, Sarah Ellen. There's too many assumptions made about the luminaries, the sun, the moon. Again, it's part of the aspect of people carrying over lingering, delusions of the model that they believed in before. So they're just taking away the globular Earth, putting a flat plane in there and then trying to work with three-dimensional outer space and space balls and trying to make it fit somehow. Never questioning again the assumptions of the assumptions they're making about these luminaries. Anywho, we'll talk a wee bit about this, but I'm going to open up and invite people in to discuss these things with me. See what happens. Come on and join me if you want. So, I'm never going to change talking about that. I'm going to keep driving that home all the time. And this is the aspect of, again, what people saying, what does it matter, what does it matter? Well, it matters hugely. Because you're born, you ask these questions, everybody seems to have an answer for our existence, and people just pick one of the beliefs that suits them. And that's it. Never give it a second thought. Onwards and upwards to a better BMW and a 4-week holiday. Woohoo! Cutting edge. I hear noises. Hello?
Hello?
Who's this? Are you nervous? Is that why you're laughing?
Hello?
I can hear you.
How are you?
I'm smashing. What kind of troll are you?
What?
What kind
I'm
of...
not a troll. You're the one who's a troll.
What? Speak properly.
You're a troll.
Brilliant. Have you come in to stimulate my mind, or have you just come in to drag us down into the shit-stained gutter that you come from?
Well, I've heard you're a flat earther.
Why are you trying to sound like a fucking
100%.
infantile child, you complete and utter fud?
What? I can't understand
Hey, can't
you.
understand. Away and listen to somebody else saying, you fucking gimp. Bye. Go away.
Get some evidence, Dal.
Shut
Thanks,
up, you
buddy.
wee fanny. You fancy me. You're obsessed. You love me. You complete and utter...
God.
Why don't you jump in a plane and come over and visit me?
How about you jump in a plane and come visit me?
Where is the proof of the globe concept?
Where is the proof of the flat Earth concept?
What flat earth? What flat earth do I make claims about?
Well, in all your titles of your videos, it says...
Answer the
flat,
fucking
so-
question, Gimpstein. What flat earth model would you like me to answer to?
No maps or models around here. We just talk about
That's
flat
right,
Earth for
cunty rag. Now, jog on, because you've got nothing. You're here to answer to me.
You got nothing, bud.
I've
Have a
got
good
plenty, son. That's why you're here. Next. Must have missed me. It's only been a couple of weeks. You give it a pre-cum in your Superman pants, son. As soon as you seen me going live. A wee bit seeping out, was there? Oh, I'm so excited, I don't know how I'm going to behave. Oh, I need to get in there. I just need to be abused by him so I can go and rip the heat off it for 4 hours straight. Oh, whatever floats your boat.
All these trolls, unbelievable. They keep coming back.
Oh fuck, there's another one. Another stalker. What do you want?
Just checking up, seeing progress here. I want to see some progress on this channel.
I want to see progress from you. Fuck it. Here's the thing, Russian vids, right? Why do you think you can come in and try and assert some sort of dominance when I have dominated the shite right out of you for the last
Because I've
fucking
been at
2
this longer
years?
than you, and I don't like the direction you're going, Del. You're not bringing anybody.
You don't like the
anywhere.
erection I'm going?
From day
you
one
love my
to now,
erection. You
what
want
has
my
anybody
erection
learned
deep in
new,
your
Del?
butty. You wee
What has
clown.
anybody learned new?
How many
No.
33s? How many 33 symbols have I made up today? What use is that to anybody?
Masonic lodges have you?
I'm not wasting my time with you, cut rag. Fuck off and we make some hit piece videos. You're beneath me. Beneath me. All you do is bore me. Try a different approach. These wee cock rags don't realise that I enjoy ripping the piss right out of them. They just don't get it. They come here willfully to get fucking gaped. That wee fanny made a video last week from Skyfly Bry's idiotic memes. Right? Showing his colours. He still runs about the place trying to act holier than now, talking about he's a Christian and he's a truther and all this rubbish. He's not got a clue. He knows I see right through him. Spanked 33 times and then he came back for another 13 spankings. Because he loves it. Oh, there's some squiggles. Look at the wee squiggles that we've been taught is 33. Oh, it means this. Brilliant, isn't it? See, they just hope I'm going to get fed up with them. That's what they hope. They hope I'm going to get fed up. It's not going to happen, lads. I'm sick of telling you. Dog with a bone, I ain't letting go. So, you can dance and squirm all you like. I ain't going anywhere. And the fucking retard is back again.
Pretty rude of you, Del.
You, listen, son, how many hit piece videos have you made about me?
None. Zero.
Plenty. When you're just barefaced lying, you creepy wee weirdo.
Let me ask you a question, Del.
You're not here to ask me questions, son.
How many Masonic lodges have you closed down?
How many Masonic lodges have I closed down? I'm not interested in Masonic lodges. When have you shut down? That's my question. Why are you asking the questions I asked you as if you think you're intelligent?
Del, I shut down 33 Masonic lodges.
Oh, shut up, mate. You can sit there and waffle on your piss all you like. I'm just going to ignore you piece of shit.
Del, I have a question for you. What's the deal with this push and pull deal? What does that have to do with level Earth?
It's about the globular Earth, you wee fanny. And this is why you're a shill, gatekeeping wee cunt. Because you'll no speak about it. Because the mechanisms of motion require a variance in pressure, which means one surface must press on another surface in order to achieve motion. Now, the heliocentric model, if you had done your homework, you would realise they invoke gravity as a pulling force, when in reality there is no such thing as a pulling force.
So,
but listen, let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
You're too stupid. You're as thick as fucking shit. You don't understand that because you don't think about it, because you don't care. All you care about is penning people in and making them scared of numbers because you're a moron.
You're hilarious.
So do you understand? Answer. Listen, fucko. Listen, fucko. You're here to be interrogated and I'm just going to cut you off. Now,
okay, go ahead.
Do you understand why I talk about the push and pull?
Yeah, and you get into the territory of the Flat Earth Society with this disc being pushed up in space.
Listen, Fuckstein, don't try and fucking put me in with anybody else. Address the questions that you put to me. Push and pull. Do you understand the mechanisms of motion and what is required to achieve motion acceleration? Yes or no?
Absolutely, but what does that have to do with the...
Is there a force known as pull?
What does that have to do
with... It's got everything to do with... Listen, Sack Sniffer, you're showing yourself up here because you're a gatekeeping liar. Now, do you understand they invoke gravity as a pulling force? Yes or no?
Of course, and
can you demonstrate the mechanisms of a force known as pull?
Again, I understand the whole concept, and this is what holds the so-called baller together. I understand that.
So why are you sharing videos? Listen. It's a massive nail in the coffin of the globe, right? And I've been pointing it out, but you don't pay any attention. What you do is you take a known Globe Trolls memes, put it in a video and slag the truth because you're a lying, gatekeeping piece of shit that deserves to be stamped on.
Is that so? Let me ask you this simple question. So what?
Bye-bye. There's your wee gatekeeper. Gatekeeper Russian vids. He's the Mason. He's the liar. He's the religious deceiver. This is why they reacted so badly to the push-pull. Because they know fine well that I have ended it for them. Because they want to talk about Newton, laws of motion, this, shit and the other, as if they're all scientifical. But they don't have a fucking clue. Especially wee gimps like him. He's not interested in the truth. By making a hit piece video, slandering and slagging somebody who points out a massive flaw in the globe concept model, he shows his true colours. But yet he's still got wee minions running about licking his arse because he wants to keep people in bewilderment, confusion, ignorance. They talk about being truthers that they've never contemplated enough. They're not interested in breaking apart the concept and showing it up for what it is. They're only here to grab people's attention, separate people up and keep them in ignorance by putting them in a subjective emotional judgment. Go and look at his videos. Skyfly Bry's memes, that's what he's got in a video. I keep him in 33 land. He's a fucking idiot. Right, let's try again, shall we? Russian vids and the likes are no welcome. We're not interested in these. Please do not bother us anymore, you mad stalkers. Don't want to hear from you. Got nothing to say to you. Keyboard's playing up, hanging these batteries. So, just as you've seen the panic with the push-pull, and again, people, it's hugely significant. You need to understand that. Because it's about understanding their language and how they're trying to confuse people. Okay? So there is no mechanism of a pulling force. It's a descriptor of a direction of motion. One thing towards another thing. Okay? We're talking about physics, the mechanics of what is required in order to achieve motion. This will be one of the avenues that I approach the university with once we get by this period. And I'll be invoking discussions about these things and seeing what they're teaching them in the academic facilities. Because as we've seen in abundance, these people have no fucking clue as to what they're talking about, or the beliefs that they hold. Absolutely no fucking clue. I can hear noises, I don't know who it is though. If you're there, you'll need to speak because I can't see the screen. The fucking cop rag's back again.
Hello, good afternoon.
Who's this?
It's Spaz.
What the fuck do you want now as well?
You're gonna love this, Dal.
Oh, smashing. Go for it.
Well, I'm going to share my screen. You don't have to share the orders. I just want you to see this.
I'm not interested in you sharing anything with me. You're either going to come in here and stimulate my mind by saying something intelligent, or you can fuck right off back to your wee culty fucking idiotic group, son.
Yeah, but you're going to ask for a demonstration, aren't you?
A demonstration of what?
Of pull.
There's no mechanism of pull, you fanny. Fuck off.
How does that make sense? You asked for a mechanism.
Show me it. Show me it.
That's what I'm about to try and do. That's what I'm saying to you.
Hurry up then. Stop talking. Chop,
Hey,
chop.
why ask
Chop,
people
chop.
and then
Don't
tell
need
me
your
to go
words.
away?
Play the fucking video. Hurry up, son. To laugh at
Dale,
you.
pipe down. Let him
Hurry up.
go.
You beat it, wee sacks.
All right, so to draw water up 33 feet, it requires a push to get the water up to 33 feet. But water cannot be pushed higher than 33 feet because you create a negative, you create a zero pressure. So if there's no pressure, you can't have any more push.
Spurs, do you understand the mechanisms or whatever it is you're going to try and waffle on about? Now, before we even get to your video, I want you to give me an accurate description of how a pool would work. Now, you talking about, are you going to invoke like air molecules somehow grasp onto water and yank at it or something? I mean, is this the stupidity you're going to display for me right now?
No, well, how does the water get up to the top of a tree?
You talk about capillary action.
Yeah, capillary only happens for a meter or so.
Right, so how does it get up the rest of the distance then, Spurs? Go, let's hear this.
Well, that's what I'm asking you.
No, I'm asking you. You're the one here showing me your stupidity. No, I want you to describe in detail for me how this pooling would possibly work.
Okay, so we've got an explanation here. What happens is when you eliminate...
What I'm going to describe for people what Spurs is showing me right now. He's showing me a drawing with wee dots coming out of the drawing.
And so what we've got a tree, so it's explaining what happens inside the tree. So
so it's somebody's explanation that you've cherry-picked and you think it means something. Spurs, get to fuck, mate. Go away.
You haven't even listened to the explanation.
Spurs, go away.
You haven't listened to the explanation.
Spurs, you've no answered a fucking question. Do you understand the mechanism?
Right now
listen. You understand that I've spoke about pool. You understand it's a describer of a direction of bringing something towards you, okay? Now, we're talking about the mechanical interaction between substances.
There you go.
So,
showing you right now, look. Have a look at this. Here's your mechanical This is what's happening inside the tree that's pulling the water up the tree.
Spurs has shown me that, people. This is what Spurs has shown me, the complete and utter bell end. A fucking cartoon.
It's describing what's happening inside the tree.
Spurs, in your own understanding, okay, have you done any of this stuff yourself? Spurs, listen carefully.
You're denying what's in front of you. How can we see...
Not interested. He's not wanting a discussion. He's just here to proselytise about a cherry-picked drawing that he's seen on YouTube's. Oh dear, the stupidity knows no ends. Let me make it simple and clear for them. Let me just make it simple and clear for them so that they understand, in case when we put the hangout link again, they try and come back with more waffle. Now, Spurs and fucking bell end vids, pay close attention. Here we have an eyelet. Here we have another eyelet. Right? Now, physics, how are you going to get this one to come towards this one? Right? Are you going to invoke magic? Are we just going to draw wee dots? And say, well, this one shoot wee dotty stuffs, and the wee dotty stuffs bounce off this one, and by bouncing off it, it makes it go in that direction, bringing it towards that one. Is that what you're going to say? In reality, if we want to bring that one towards that one, we have to either attach it here, so we would need like a rope going round it here, or we would need to attach it by some sort of solid system where it can come round the back and apply a pressure here. So this would have to be rigid, right? This would have to be a fixed, rigid mechanism so that when this one moves in this direction, okay, it takes up the pressure. The pressure is then going to be applied here on the back end, forcing it to move. Or We could attach a rope here. We could loop the rope round the front of it here, right? So that when this one moves, it now applies a pressure on the inside of the ring here, okay? Applying a pressure, a pushing force on the inside so that it can go in that fucking direction. But now you want to come back with nonsensical heliocentric jibber jabber and start telling me that, oh, there's a tree, right? Oh, the water wants to go up the tree, right? So there's wee dots that somehow magically just make the water go up the fucking tree. There has to be a mechanism. Now, if we understand the laws of motion, physics and actual reality, you would know that you need one substance like a surface pushing on another surface to make the fucking thing move. Absolute fucking spastics. Again, this is this wee gimp party a fucking Globe-Live tour at Telling the Truth season and all that. Doesn't even fucking understand the mechanics, the mechanisms of motion. Doesn't have a fucking clue. But he's running about the street, megaphone, oh, I'm here to wake you up and tell you the truth and all that. But I don't understand the mechanics of fucking motion. What a bell end. Now let's try again, shall we? Is it really that complicated? Is it me? I'm trying to simplify it. I'm trying to make it stupid so that you can grasp it. But they still can't get it. Trolls v Trolls, another one that makes fucking videos off other people's backs. What a clown. Faceless wee spastic.
Right. Your claim.
Well, I'm speaking you, fanny boys. I'm fucking speaking, you ignorant wee cunt. You shut the fuck up until I address you, okay, fuckstick? Now, okay. Trolls versus Trolls is the epitome of a shite bag. One who participates in weak-minded garbage, offering fuck all useful to anybody, perpetuating the stupidity of man. Now, Spurs, you may spew your gobbledygook for about 3 seconds, and it better be something concise and addressing what I've just pointed out to you, or I'm going to shut it down. Go.
Yeah, I was in here talking to Russian. Didn't hear how you replied to that.
What's that?
I didn't hear how you replied. I was talking with Russian vids.
You never paid any attention. Do you want me to explain it to you again?
Yeah, you explained to me how the water gets up
100 feet. Spurs, this is where you've got a problem, son. You're the one bringing something to me and then you want me to explain your imagination.
I told you how. You said, no, that's not true. So you tell me then how it goes
up
there.
Spurs, you're here defying reality by saying there is a pulling force. Now, I'm asking you in your magical fantasy land, how does pull work as a force? What's the mechanisms of it?
I was just showing you the video of how it
works.
Spurs,
I think maybe you're just that fucking thick, you don't understand. I really am beginning to think you're a simpleton.
What do I need to understand?
Spurs,
how does that happen?
Is there a force known as pull?
In nature, yes.
How does it function? Describe the mechanical function of pulling something.
It creates a negative pressure.
And the positive pressure pushes.
No. How can the water push from underneath the ground?
What's making it go up?
The negative pressure from the top of the tree.
So the negative pressure. So if you reduce so negative pressures, like does it cast out rods that go through the water and grasp onto every molecule of the water and lift it up? I mean, what are you talking about?
It's just the opposite of push. It creates a negative pressure, which
Spurs.
would be
Spurs.
the molecules reduce,
Spurs.
pulling
Spurs.
everything around it.
Spurs.
up.
You're here to learn, son. No, I suggest you
No,
pay
no,
attention.
you're here to learn.
Do you understand? Do you understand
have
how
not
it
seen
Spurs?
this before?
Spurs.
I presented this to you, and you freaked out.
No, because you're too thick. You're
I'm
no
not too thick. I've
listening.
done my research, mate. You haven't.
Spurs, you've no researched anything but your
Well, have a
underpants,
look
your
at
wee
this.
keepy
You've got a
toucher.
video showing you the truth.
Fuck off. You've no researched anything other than what's in your underpants. I don't think Spurs knows how a vacuum cleaner works either. He probably thinks that the vacuum cleaner's soaking stuff. That's how that moron thinks. This is like they've not got a scientific, brain. When somebody like me is asking them, okay, you're asserting there's a pool, no, I need the mechanisms, the physics of how that works. How does it interact with other objects? How is it affecting them? And he wants to turn it around and say, I have to answer it. If you create a negative or a lower pressure, the surrounding higher pressure will immediately rush into that area, carrying stuff that's in its vicinity. Just like your vacuum cleaner. When you put that on, it creates a lower pressure. The higher pressure that's surrounding rushes in there, pushing the particulates into the vacuum. That's how it works. See all the wee gatekeepers running out, trying to make it go away. See them all? Huh? This is your global-eye truthers. You've got two choices. He's as thick as fucking pig shit, or he's a lying wee prick. I don't know how many times it has to be shown to him. Now, is there anybody with an ounce of intelligence out there that's willing to come and assert that there is a pulling force that understands they have to show the mechanisms of how it achieves motion upon another object or objects? In order for one object to affect another object, there has to be some sort of flow of something like water running down a fucking river, pushing things along. Or there has to be an attachment, so it has to be an extension of the thing, or it has to be pressing on it from any given point. I go and tell that to fucking people at Spurs. Stand on your heat, Spurs, right? See when you're getting a sore head and dizzy. That's because your heart's no pulling the blood up from the skull. Fucking morons. Now that's right, Kevin Harkins, but I've got empathy for people who are genuine. People at Spurs came out are known trolls. Willfully ignorant gimps, gatekeeping the actual truth. Well, at the same time, running about with megaphones, professing they're woke and they're going to save humanity and all this rubbish. Get any of these clowns into a situation and needle down into the real fundamentals, and every one of them will flap because they don't give a fuck about the truth or uncovering the actual truth. They don't care about it. Matter pushes on matter, exactly, Polly. That's how motion is achieved. 100% unbreakable fact. Let's try again, shall we? The two gimps that have been on are no welcome. You've got nothing to offer. You're just going to annoy me. You're going to get insults because you're thick. Look, I'm still going on. You're done. I know, I look done. I'm done apparently because Spurskimo, the delusional fucking retard, says so.
So, Del, what happened with InfoWars? Eddie Bravo didn't have you come on, huh? What happened with that?
I don't give a fuck about Eddie Bravo or any of these people, you fanny. Where you go? What if any of these people go to do with me? Nothing. No, fuck off.
No, it would be nice if, wouldn't you think, if Eddie would have had you come on InfoWars?
Oh, it'd be nice if Eddie had you go, knew you're trying some other emotional bollocks. Look, Russian vids, take a good fucking look, son. None of your bullshit is ever going to work on me, right? You're too stupid. I'm too sharp for you. I am your nemesis, son. That's why you're here begging for a bitch slap.
Del, you know...
Bye. Aye, world without curve. Take notes. This is your Russian vids trying to gatekeep. Alright? Acting like a wee fucking plastic gimp. Showing his true colours. He's not a man. Has no integrity whatsoever. None. People like him, you should be watching very carefully. Sick of telling them. I don't want to hear from them. They've got nothing to offer me. They slander, they lie, they gatekeep. You don't see that on my channel. I don't go to theirs. They continually come here obsessively. Think about the psychology of that. What's actually going on here? I hope you're not thinking you're going to learn anything from Brandon. He's a fucking absolute idiot. I've got terabytes of fucking stuff going way back. You can read up about all this stuff. You don't need fucking gimps like fucking Russian vids. There's people who spoke about all that stuff way before that wee plastic clown arrived. He's just on here to gatekeep. Same as the 99.5% of the rest of them. Made an absolute cunt of himself by sharing Skyfly, the most dumbest cunt I've ever encountered, and that fucking spastic is sharing the memes as if he thinks he understands what's going on. He's not got a fucking clue. Again, watch this. You are not wanted. Please do not come in here and harass and annoy us peoples. We don't want to hear from you. Away, crawl back to your wee corner of YouTube and keep people bewildered. His arse was like a lizard sleeve years ago. That's why he's no use now as a sex slave. His duty now is to sit on YouTube spewing crap endlessly. Right, Tanya. Pissing me off. Piss me off. I just use them to fucking show them up for what they are.
All right, next guest, please join in. Feel free to join in. I'll moderate.
Listen to this fucking deluded wee cunt. This is how weak he is. He's taking an absolute spanking, and he's the only thing he can resort to is coming in and trying to assert some sort of dominance like a wee teenage boy. Listen, son, that's why you've no got a life, because anywhere you go and you try to act like that, you just get your wee fanny kicked every fucking time.
Never happened, pal. Never happened.
That's because you don't go out. You probably got a tag on your ankle. You're probably tagged to a wee monitor in the corner of the fucking room because you're a mad toucher. Right? You probably prey on children because you're a creepy wee weirdo. You can't even take an adult telling you straight, I don't want to speak to you, you're no wanted, but you keep coming. So what would you do to children? You fucking
just
creepy
like one of
cunt.
these vagrants out in the streets that don't want to.
He's a pedo. Russian Vids is a pedophile. Watch him. Anybody knows where he lives, put a sign outside his house saying pedo. Out. Predator. Showing all the signs of predation. Classic example. These are the wee guys that are so eaten up inside because they've just not got any stability. They can't reason with their own being. They can't find themselves. So they just run about making a fucking arse of themselves. He's been fucking slapped for pillar to post here. And it's like the wee boy that's angry that he took a beating. He doesn't know how to deal with it. So he just keeps coming with the same shite all the time. Ever heard that expression, bit off more than you could chew? That's exactly what you done, son, when you started coming poking your wee shit-stained fingers in my nest. So, blame yourself. Don't run about looking for anybody else to blame. But again, you don't have the integrity internally. You don't have a spine to be able to face your own being. To eradicate the issues that you hold. Because if you did, you wouldn't be back here. You just got away with your tail between your legs going, lesson learned, lesson learned. Again, another sign of your stupidity. You don't learn. This is great. Again, they're useful idiots for me. Guys like Spurscamo as well. Want to waffle on about pooling forces and all this rubbish. Just gives me the fucking opportunity to highlight how utterly, profoundly stupid it actually is.
Hey, how about discuss tides?
I don't speak to paedophiles. Can you go away, paedophile?
How about tides, Del?
Can you go away, paedophile? I don't want a paedophile here on my platform. Thank you very much. This is a Russian vids on YouTube. The man is a paedophile. He's a propagandist. He's a liar. He's a gatekeeper.
That's slander, pal.
Very harmful character. This guy. Go away, pedo.
Keep it up.
Paedophile. Go away, paedophile.
I'll see you in court. You
Faceless pedo. You get me in court, you paedophile wee cunt. Get me in court. I'll look forward to it. Bye now, pedo.
I'll be in Scotland. I'll be in
Stop
Scotland.
touching children. Stop touching children.
Yeah, right.
Do you get off on touching children? Is that what you get off on? Is it because is it because you're not secure as a man? You have to focus your attention onto harmless children so you can prey on them.
Now?
Ah,
is this high school?
You're a
Why are you
pedo,
acting
son.
like a child?
Pedophile.
Why are you acting like a child, Del?
I do not want this. YouTube, there's a paedophile running amok on your platform and he's here harassing me. I do not want to associate with
No, he's sitting in
paedophiles.
a shed right now.
Go away,
Somewhere in
paedophile.
Scotland.
Go away,
In
pedo.
Scotland.
Pedo Pete. You're coming to Scotland. Listen, son, I crack the jokes here.
I'll be in Scotland. I'll be in Paisley Airport. Pick me up, pal.
Ah,
when I
you
get to
do
the
that.
airport, I want you to pick me up.
You can walk. It's only 500 yards away or something, you lazy wee prick.
I'll see you there.
I hope you don't
Make
bump
sure you
into
have
any
some
children.
food for me, huh?
The children here in the west of Scotland would kick your stones in a fucking heartbeat, you wee creepy cunt.
Hey, Del, when I get there, make sure you have room and board for me. Nice meal.
Ah, there's a hole at the
Blanket,
back
bed, all
door
that
for you,
stuff.
son. There's a hole waiting for you at the back door.
All right, Del, that sounds good. Why don't you answer some questions for once, huh?
I'll cover it in dog shite. I'll put a big
How
flag
does
in
tides
it
work,
saying,
Del?
here lies paedophile Russian vids. Here lies the fucking lying wee shit stain.
And where's your evidence for that, Del?
You're a pedo, you're displaying it. You're a predator. Can you not take a telling? What is it you're not understanding? I do not want to associate or speak to you in any way,
Good.
shape or form. Why are
That's
you here?
exactly why I'm here.
Explain your reasoning for why you're here.
I'm here to set you straight, Dell, because from day
Paedophile, don't want to speak to you. Aye, singing himself already, Mr. Cheswick. I'm not going to fucking give him airtime. I don't want him saturating my brain with his fucking idiotic nonsense. I don't have any patience for him. He's been told, go away. That's just a waste of time, Scott West. This is what they're up to. This is why, you know, they've got to attack it. This is their method of attack. Because they don't want people here having conversations. They don't want to give us peace so that we can conversate with each other and have discussions about our contemplations or any of that stuff. They just want to come here and disrupt it. That's their game. You need to understand, I'm the one that's telling the truth. I'm the one who is really interested in the truth. I'm the one who wants to know exactly what this place is. I'm the one that's pointing out that your life's a delusion because you don't know where you are. I'm the one that's pointing out you don't know how your mind works. I'm the one that's pointing all that out. When have any of these people ever done that? They don't. Their message is, you're a victim. You're a victim of a big mystical bad entity with superpowers. Look, numbers and symbols, and oh, there's nothing you can do about it because they're so powerful. That's the subtle message that fanny sacks like him are perpetuating to keep you bewildered, to keep the chaff in line, keep them where they want them to be. So they ridicule when facts are pointed out. They ridicule the fact that we require full exploration en masse. They ridicule it. They want you believing in mystical magical powers who can abuse you with numbers and explorations, fuck that. Pfft. Well, at the same time, they're shouting that they're Christians and all this stuff. Making a mockery of the genuine people who try and follow or live a life of a Christ teaching. Would Christ, the character known as Christ, come to my house and continually harass me after me saying, I don't want to speak to you? Or would he have the wherewithal to accept that, take a telling and jog on? Maybe he didn't. Maybe that's why they nailed him to the fucking cross. Because he had a tate of the Russian vids in him. Didn't know when to take a telling. Kept pushing and kept pushing. He went, fuck you. I'm just going to nail you to the cross, you prick. Because that's what I'd do to that wee wank. That wee paedophile. I'd nail him to a fucking cross. Come out every day, ping his wee sacks, laugh at him, and then come out of the shed and have a cup of tea. Sorry if anybody out there took offence to my Christ thing. I'm sorry, but I just treat it as a story. You know, I'm not invested in the belief. So, I find, you know, funny things about it. Sorry. You do realise how ridiculous it all is anyway. Yeah? You're part of the infinite eternal. The infinite eternal Godhead thing wants you here as a wee man to run about pleasing him and behave a certain way. That's got nothing to do with mind control, you know, moderating subjectivity here in this reality. No, it's got nothing to do with that. No, it's objectively true. How can it be objectively true? The infinite and the eternal God that's always has been and always will be, never changing, but you're going to live a wee life that's somehow going to add or change some aspect of that infinity thing. Aye, very good. How does that work? So they're invoking an infinite eternal being, while at the same time the underlying story to it is some finite drivel. They can't see the contradiction in their own philosophy of existence. Baffles me. You're not here to behave any other way than true to yourself. And that's what they don't want you to know. They want you to be a wee scared conformist. Oh, I need to edit my subjective behaviour in order to conform with the expected fucking society structures and all that. And now what we'll do is we'll make up another story of an invisible realm that's overlooking this, making sure you behave and conform to what the government expects you to behave like. Brilliant. They don't want you realising that it's just an experience that you can achieve and do whatever the fuck you like here. It probably means diddly squat. Oh, it's Satan. Satan and God and all that. Alright, aye. We're at the fucking... We're at the, you know, at the end of the whims of fucking these pseudo-intellectual fucking god beings that have had a falling out with each other. Aye, God doesn't like that devil cunt anymore, Satan or whatever his name is, so fuck him, I'll put him down there, and then what I'll do is I'll make wee peoples, and I'll put them there with Satan, and I'll see how they behave and perform for me, and if they perform well, then I'll let them in. All that God shite, all these philosophies of existence, they're all just delusions. If you think about it long enough, you can break all the inconsistencies and the contradictions till you end up at a point of, do you know what? There isn't any meaning to this. The meaning is experience. That's why I spoke about that. You know, people are terrified of them not having memory. Memory, and, you know, if you're leaving this life, right, and you have entertaining notions of memory, right, what that's saying about your psychology, your state, is that you're scared and you're insecure, right, and that you want to solidify everything and make things concrete and certain. But so you want to maintain a memory of all the lives you're going to live so that you can trace a tapestry. But if you're part of the infinite and eternal and you're a soul that's going to live forever and ever and ever and ever, what are you trying to map it out for? Why would you want to map it out? Because you're never going to get to the end of it. Then you've got to think about, why would you want to get to the end of it? Why would you want to be able to solidify the whole thing? So you can know the entirety of existence. And then just sit there, knowing everything there is to know. And just sit there, all content like. I mean, think about it. Having no memory of lives or experiences you've had before are probably a very intrinsic necessity. Memory is useful as a living entity here, so that you remember not to run out in front of the motor that's going at 70 miles an hour. I can imagine that, you know, when this technology was being formulated and they were making, you know, like meat suits in order for us to have the experience, they never had like a central nervous system or pain or any of these things. I think they were add-ons. Right, because we would have been coming in here in spacesuits, these things. This is fucking great. Jumping off buildings and then being buckled and just lying there. Oh fuck, I can't move. What's going to happen now? That's not a very good experience. So we need a nervous system. We need some sort of signalling that you can't just do that because there's physical constraints to this place. If you go jumping off buildings, you're not going to be able to move and enjoy the experience so much anymore. Stop thinking about it like you're subservient to some overlord that wants you to behave a certain way. That's what's going to drive you insane. It's setting up a mind frame of subservience. Oh, I'm at the whim of something. Then you wonder how governments and fucking predators like these cunts get the upper hand on you. Because you've not formulated the anarchy in your mind yet to realise it's all bullshit. It has to be meaning. It means to mean something. I need it to transcend because I'm scared. Next time you're on the dodgems or the waltzers, have a think about that. Are you ever on there going, oh, I'm scared, I need meaning to transcend the experience. All these boring, idiotic gods, concepts. You know what I mean? They're tyrannical fucking dipshits. And people lap it up. Stockholm Syndrome to out their arse. When they just say it's Masons, it's this, it's that, they're just giving you a label. There's no accountability to a label. Of course it is Scott West religion. It's, as I've just pointed out, it sets up a mind frame of subservience. It places you as a victim of some higher entity. That's no good for your self-esteem. Right? You're going to find yourself acting like this pedo toucher. This is how you're going to end up acting like him.
Yeah. So, Del, what happened to your mods here? Flatman and Dan, the Flat Earth Underground, all these clowns just took off when you removed them as mods, huh?
Are you going to offer me yet, or are you just going to keep coming in with this crap, son?
No, I actually like to talk about some serious subjects, but you like to,
You've not got the intellect. You don't have the intellect to engage me at any level of anything.
Let's challenge that then.
Right, go for it. This will be riveting. Let's challenge it. Go. Let's hear your big challenge.
Okay, very nice. Now we're on to something, Del. Very, very good. Let's talk about tides, Del. Let's talk about tides.
Let's talk about tides. Aye.
Okay. What about?
I'll tell you what. Whose platform are you on right now? Don't you tell me to hold on. Whose platform are you on right now?
Okay, Del, go ahead.
You're in my home. You don't ask the fucking questions, sack sniffer. Okay.
Go ahead, Del.
Now, I don't want to talk about tides.
You don't want to talk about tides?
No.
Okay.
I'm not talking about. Am I talking about tides right now? Am I talking about tides right now? You either come in and add to the conversation or jog on, paedophile. I keep telling you, you're like a wee pest. Paedophile, listen, I do not want to hear from you, paedophile.
Del, just
Paedophile.
hold on and listen to what I have to say
Paedophile.
here.
I
You're
don't
gonna
want to
learn
hear from a
something new today,
paedophile.
Del.
I do not
You're
want
gonna
to
learn
hear from
something
a
new today
kiddie
if you
fiddler.
listen. Listen, Del, you'll learn something new if you.
I'll just carry on talking myself. Fuck it. It appears that YouTube likes to harbour paedophiles like Russian vids. Stan Smith, don't try and lump me in as like I'm some form of the dichotomy with Russian vids. The guy is just a pain in the arse. Nobody asked him to come here. He comes off his own back continually. I don't want to know him. I'm not interested in him. Go and see if you can look in my channel and see any hit piece videos on Russian vids. You will find none. I'm not interested. Couldn't care less. Couldn't care if he was nailed to a fucking cross. Don't care. Guys like him are scared to show their face, so that's why. Because they know what would happen. So anywho, what are we talking about? Where was I? Somebody remind me, if you were paying attention. So aye, so the whole system, from you're born, okay, they form a system of hierarchy in your mind. You were born into cultures gone by, you know, where the system has already set in. So if right away you've got your family unit, you know, depending on what the family unit was, if you had quite a liberal family, you might not have had that, but the majority of people would have experienced the form of hierarchy, you know, where you have a ruler in the household, and then there's a cascade down the pyramid to you. Then that transposes into nursery school. It's happening with the unguided situations of your interactions with other children out in the street, because they're born into the same systems of control, of hierarchy and governance, and behaviour modification. Then you go into, you know, preschool, nursery school, you know, primary school, high school, and it's all the same. It's formulating, solidifying a rigid structure of hierarchy in you, while at the same time you're being trained by a bell system. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, time to get up. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, time to go to the toilet. Ding-a-ling-a-ling, time to do this, time to do that. Ding-a-ling-a-ling, go home now. Ding-a-ling-a-ling, go to bed. Encompassing that is the overlord type structure, just to cement it harder that you are nothing. You're being gaslit, lowering your self-esteem, your self-worth, your self-importance, your confidence, your ability to say fuck you, no holds barred, true colours, out in the open, displaying exactly what you are, your true essence. Now, because people are no free-flowing in their true essence, it's causing a pile-up internally and en masse. That's what all these structures are about. When you're in that state, those in the know have the upper hand. You're now malleable. You have now been solidified in the mind frame that they desire, so that you can be pushed from pillar to post to suit their needs. Just like you train a dog, with your wee bells and whistles, and your repetition in order for it to achieve the desired goal that you want from it. That's what's happening to human beings en masse. And it's subtle, it's overt and it's covert. So many layers to it. It's happening in the family home, it's happening in your social circles, people that you would say are your friends. It's happening everywhere. Every day. The majority of people are just too weak to break out of it, stick their fingers up it and say, get to fuck. That's why people like me are viewed as a threat to the insecure, the needy, the Stockholm syndromes. They think big lawless cunts like me are going to rape them and murder them and all this stuff. Yeah, don't flatter yourself. While you're in a state of insecurity, you have delusions of grandeur. That you think, I've got something, you've got something that I want. You have nothing. The only thing I want from anybody is their sincerity. Their true essence to shine through. Because if you have that, then there is no confusion. If people really are displaying exactly what they are, there is no contrast, there is no confusion. The confusion starts with subjective behaviour moderation, wearing masks, conforming to the expectations of this particular culture or system you were born into. As soon as you start that, the communication is gone. We can now no longer experience each other as a true experience because you're hiding, you're scared, because the world's going to judge you. Why are you scared of other people judging you? Are they God? Are they the creator, the overlord? No, they fucking well are not. So their wee judgments mean diddly squat, and you need to get that into your fucking skull. They only rule the world because people don't understand their true potential. They think their true potential means saying prayers or sitting in a yoga position or writing wee notes and sticking it on a post-it board and saying mantras and all this, that and the other. It doesn't work like that. Firstly, you have to identify what has influenced you from childhood. How you formulated the structures in your mind. What is constraining you? If you don't, you're always going to be looking out there. And idiots, paedophiles like Russian vids are going to titillate you with victimhood storylines and narratives. Reaffirming that you're a victim, you're a victim, you're a victim. Because as long as you're in that, you're never going to do anything about it. Fuck being anybody's fucking victim. Fuck anybody's expectations. Be you and fuck the world. What was that? Basically, either you're controlled by a man or a concept and you fear one or the other. Well, that's the thing. It's not that people are being controlled by man, they're being controlled by themselves. Because they just don't pay attention to what's influencing them. Concepts and ideas are products. Look at them as products. Nobody forces you to integrate them into your being. People are doing that willy-nilly off their own back. And then at the same time, pointing outwards and blaming externally for their victimhood. What's Bob saying? Is what I said immoral or wrong in some way? Oh, let's get into morals, shall we? Let's see where you're clutching at straws for lame. I guarantee you, it's a subjective preference based on your self-reflection. Right? It's not being imposed by an overlord that expects something from you. Let's try again. It would be great just to have a wee conversation about these topics without the antagonistic trolls, paedophiles like Russian vids, who are no welcome. I would deny who makes the law. I don't know if you've taken a look about you, Bob Bobrovsky. I think you better take a real good look.
Hello, do you have any evidence for the flat earth, sir? Go ahead.
Shut up. Are you here to contribute to the conversation, or just is it your shot? Is it tag team with you and Russian vids now?
Yeah, me, Russian dude, off the rope, tag teaming, bruh.
I bet you. I bet you there's more going on with that rope than just fucking bouncing off them.
Russian Vids, it's time for you, bro. Tim Osmond now. Go ahead, bud.
Oh, brother, how's it going, man?
Tag team off the rope, bro.
Good, good. Dell shaking like a leaf.
Aye, shite my pants. If any of you two dipshits get anything to offer in regards to the conversation that's been happening here?
Yeah, I have a serious question, regarding a push and pull and tides. If we live in this level world, I know we do. How do tides go with the sun circling above? How do tides work with the push and pull?
Why are you dragging heliocentric concepts into this discussion, you fanny? Here's a question for you. See if you can answer this.
Pull?
See if you can answer me this, right? This shows the depth. Show me the depth of your reasoning, right? Here we go, Russian vids. Yeah. How do you get direction and weight to an object?
Well, that's the thing is you're trying to postulate that with the so-called
Russian vids. Like, can you stop dancing? Russian vids, try and no dance, right? Because you're rubbish at dancing. Can you just answer the fucking question? What dictates direction and weight?
Well, things have to fall. If you have keys in your hand and you drop them.
Answer the fucking question. What dictates? Listen carefully. I think you've got a problem. I think you've got a problem listening. What dictates weight and direction?
Something's heavier than air is going to fall down. That's simple.
Fuck off, you spastic. Again, the level of his intellect. Something's heavy. Yeah. Why do things have direction? Why is there a direction of down regardless of where you go? Because things are heavy. Wonderful. Very concise. Very articulate. We have learned something now. Density doesn't give things weight or direction. As I like that one, Harman Walker. I'm a man of various talents. One more try. One more try. Oh, Gav, let me just try this once more, Gav, and I'll send you the link, right? We can have a decent conversation. You've got about 3 seconds. What dictates direction and what dictates weight? What factor must you have in order to have direction and weight? Can't go with your tongue.
Yeah.
Makes a change for the cock. Huh?
Yeah. If
Fucking
you have
weirdo.
push, that means there's outer space.
Listen, son.
Beyond this realm.
Listen, son. What dictate? You don't make the fucking rules of what.
Do you understand what I just said?
Why are you admitting what objectively may be true or not because of your own incredulity, sonny boy? Listen to me. Answer the fucking question, sack rash. What dictates direction and fucking weight?
Well, you got to have some pushing force. You got to have some force, of course. But the bottom line is this: even Gav will admit there's no space. So you postulate the flat Earth society theory that Earth is moving up.
Listen, the space concept in regards to heliocentrism is an absurdity, right?
Of course.
That does not detract from the objective possibilities of what we may be a part of here. Now you come in and you start trying to dictate what can and can't be possible without anything, you wee fanny. Again displaying that you're a gatekeeping, agenda-pushing wee prick. Now fuck off. You've not got the intellect for me, son.
Yeah,
now I'm going to ask you again. Make it concise. This is your last chance. What dictates direction and weight?
Again, just like you postulated that we're living in a sphere, we're a flat Earth within.
Fuck off, moron. That's that world without curve. But what you see here with these people, which tells you a lot again when you discuss this type of thing without even asserting anything to be factual, asking the questions. Where does the deduction take you? What's reality showing you? And you get to a position, these fannies, like Russian vids and the other gatekeepers, try and smear over the top of it. That's why he shares known trolls, memes, ridiculing the truth, while at the same time professing he's a truther. Bizarre. It's bizarre that anybody can take anything that a man like him says, is viable. Absolutely incredible. Well, I'm sorry, Kevin Harkins, I'm not meeting your expectations. I do apologise. I will try harder to please you.
Right, my man.
How's it going, Gav?
Sound. Yourself?
No bad. Long time no see and hear and all that stuff, Caesar.
Still there?
Aye. Saying long time no see or hear.
Aye, it is indeed. Aye.
Aye.
I must say, you're like a mother.
You've been busy.
Only I have the patience to like with these clowns,
I've not really got the patience. For them. They just fucking annoy me instantly.
Yeah.
They're useful.
But it's always they're useful, exactly. They're useful to show up the idiocy of the whole thing.
So to a point.
The absurdity, the nonsense, the ploys, the tricks, all the deviousness they have to get up to continue to perpetuate this nonsense. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
Certainly. To see, I can use them as useful idiots up until a point, and I really do want to nail them to a fucking cross. Yeah.
Right. You said it.
Aye.
Listen, I was pondering the infinite. So
yeah.
When you were saying if you start from the premise that this is you're part of some kind of infinite consciousness, you're some kind of sentience in some form or another, right? That is infinitely extended and unlimited in time, or what we call time, right?
Yeah.
Then there's only one thing that infinite consciousness has to experience that it can't experience in that natural state, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a finite, limited experience.
Yep.
Right, which is kind of, at least kind of makes a little bit of sense to me that this is the simulation or the machine we're in or whatever you want to call it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But
So
no limit.
anyway, that was just that. I'm not saying it's. I'm just speculating.
I am the same, but even thinking about that, I couldn't limit it to just this experience. You know, there may be an infinite amount of finite, experience.
Oh, absolutely, aye.
You know,
But that situation or that environment of being finite and limited would be something that would never experience if its natural state was to be infinite and unlimited. Do you know what I mean?
And it can never be disconnected from that. So that means that encompasses this. This is within it. It transcends it. It's through it. It's in it. It is it. And that's where we are in this pocket of it right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a ride then,
Aye.
As other folk have said, it's just an amusement park, It's just get to experience the finite and limited, See,
that's it.
One of the things that I think maybe, you think even of a deeper meaning, but not even a deeper meaning is not the right thing, but something enjoyable from it, right? Like, so whatever your hobby or whatever it is you like doing, if you really go into that and explore it and, be creative, have that free expression, as you say, right?
Yeah.
Then, that's about the best you should be doing really in this finite, limited experience, right? Whatever it is, right?
Aye.
I mean, I like golf, so, I can imagine playing golf most of the time,
Aye, you indulge, you're indulging, what you are, your true essence and where your attention's moving from one place to the next. Now, and people are, as I say, they're moderating that constantly. It's like they're no listening to it, they're no pursuing it and following it through. They're born into the system that stunts it right away and then starts pushing you into avenues of expectation. This is what's expected of you, this is what your behaviour needs to be. And that's what I see the majority of people like. For me, there is like I mention that all the time, essence. So maybe there is a kind of caste system of a finite amount of essences or something. And this is just me, this is my essence, and it's unchanging. If I'm totally honest with myself, what I've been, internally since I was a child is the exact same as I am right now. There's learned aspects of circumstance and situation in this environment that you learn and you adapt to, but the core of you, for me, it never changes unless there's a massive trauma or something that causes a schism,
No, I mean, I'm still the man that I always was, even as I was a boy, I mean, the memories I have of my childhood are of the same essence, as you say, that, that I have still now. It's the same identity. There are no these mixed identities. You don't get to choose from 75,
Yeah.
And, a lot of it's about getting to know yourself,
Exactly.
which you can't do when you're young, you can't stand outside yourself and see what's going on.
Aye.
So
And
that only comes with age,
Aye.
So that's why they get them when they're young, right?
Mm-hmm. That was it for me. If I could label what I was, in clarity, it would be a creative, thrill seeker, a pleasure seeker. And the experiences of this world, it was like, whoa, what's going on? You never go and seek out what you would call a bad experience, stress or trauma or any of these things. It's like it just doesn't compute. It's like, why does that have to be there?
Right. I mean, some folks don't get a good deal at all. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, I always count myself lucky. Mm-hmm. I mean, you should be walking about with a fucking smile on your face all day, every day, right? Because you could have been dealt a completely different hand,
But that's that again, going into kind of ideological talks of the whole again. Really the fundamentals should be there so that nobody is born. Again, talking about this reality, if it is a machine, it is an experience, then we can make it anything we want. And right now, for me, it's an abomination. Just as you say, why would you want to perpetuate bringing new life to this? Being born in somewhere like India or, some other, war-torn place where it's just fucking, horrific. Sort out the fundamental, the foundation of it. And then it is a fun ride for us to come and have an experience in, where there's no restrictions, there's free expression, and the basics are catered for, so that you can root, you can grow, nurture yourself, and express your full potential. So idealistic. What else are we aiming for then?
Well, you're quite right.
But as I say, right now, I'm no on board with it. It's a fucking abomination. I mean, just as you say, for that reason, you know, and then you can say, well, I can count myself lucky that I'm no the child born in India having his ankles broke to go out and kid on him a handicap in order to feed my family. I mean,
that's the thing. There's the exact purpose is unknown to me, right? Of what's currently going on. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And that's one of the frustrating things that. But if we were to better know our boundaries, then you can get more, facts that are, absolutely going to help find out that stuff
Right.
still, right?
It's the construct for me. As I always spoke, I need to understand the construct, because if it's confined in some way, or there's aspects of it that show you the workings of the machinery, then surely there's a chronological path to a bigger picture of its inception, where it is, where it's situated, where it's a part of, that can maybe bring clarity. But sitting here in the middle right now, it's just all fucking hot air. Everybody's coming up with.
Yeah.
No.
That's the same old bullshit.
No.
I was travelling a bit. I was in a couple of different countries, and when I was flying, or when I was in the country, there's a lot of Star Wars going on at the moment. I don't know if you've seen. I mean, like it was like in the shops, it was on the flight, it was in the airport, it was in the other airport when I landed, it was on my kid's table when I get home. Do you know what I mean? Star Wars. Here we go again. And it's not as if George Lucas has got that much money to do that, right?
Yeah.
So this is a much kind of wider, coordinated effort to always pour money into, making Spaceball cartoons, right?
Yeah.
And fantasies.
Yeah.
And filling folks' head full of nonsense,
Exactly.
So, again, you wonder what the purpose of that is. Is it something separate? And how is it tied to any possible containment with it, confinement, right?
Well,
So
as I said before, as I said before, is there a fear of us, the true explorer, the explorative nature that we have coming to the surface? And as I postulated at the beginning of this, are they worried that, what would the reaction be as being in some sort of isolated environment where, we can't penetrate it? There has to be a concern there about the reaction to that, because, it's unpredictable as far as I can tell. How would the masses really react? What would ensue? I mean, it's anybody's guess.
I don't know. It just can't get any worse than it is now. There's nothing worse for me, at least, than being in that state of fucking delusion, right?
Aye.
Or seeing everybody else in a state of delusion, and being absolutely sometimes powerless to do anything about it, right? But you keep on soldiering away anyway, right?
Yeah.
So, fuck.
Well, it doesn't take a genius to work out the bare necessities and what's required in order for us all to have stability. But again, is that another aspect? Well, they can't have that, because if we're too stable, then again, the explorative nature comes out. We're free, we're liberated, we're away exploring and maybe finding things that we're going to pass back, and I don't know, it could all just be part of the same game, Keep us in... servitude, keep us in fear, keep us worried, keep us aiming for the next week, and then that's it,
As you say, either acquiescent or subservient, keep them in a state of fear as well, right?
Yeah.
And it just keeps on going and on and on, and you can see how easy it is for them to influence the next generation, right? They all get a new toy, they get better visuals, right?
Yeah.
The CGI improves, I mean, if at some point in the future they can really have technique, without having to have big goggles or helmets on, that are integrated into your environment in a way, that is, if you like, purely visible, but looks as real as anything else. I mean, they could tell kids anything, right?
Aye.
I mean, they believe in fucking... I mean, they already do. Harry Potter's nearly real to them as space is. Do you know what I mean?
Well, for me, it's a mimicry of the tech that we're experiencing, that we call life, biological being and living right now. I mean, all these technological advancements are reverse engineering of this experience.
Absolutely.
So...
Yeah.
And then that's what's happening, But everybody, just as you say, if we could have that, the virtual reality without the goggles, well, we've got it. And here's the goggles here.
That's right. It's all been reflected inside, as mental objects in the inside of people's heads. I mean, that's kind of like they're projecting backwards all these ideas and concepts and nonsense, right, into subjective opinions and mental objects in the minds of people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're completely divorced from the physical reality and objective nature of things, right?
Exactly.
So it's.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the more they can separate the people between these two things and don't let them attend to, their own mind, their own senses, the real reality, the way stuff works,
Yeah.
and just keep them all inside their heads, arguing with each other about their own subjective opinions and whether they're a better measure.
Exactly.
Yeah, what?
Exactly.
Subjective measurement, of what?
But what else are they left with? Because again, it's like, the globular Earth heliocentrism, it offers up a stunting of the explorer, because that's put to the back of their mind. All right, so there is exploration possibility, but it's gazillions or millions of miles away, and we're never going to achieve it. So therefore, my attention's never going to go to it. So it just goes inwards to the subjectivity and the games that are being played within the confines, which is just all mental illness and dysfunction.
Yeah. Yeah, it carries on, doesn't it, from the macro to the micro, doesn't it? So, yeah.
That's it. If we grew up with it, everything was figured out. Oh, Columbus and Magellan and this, that, and the other. Rio discovered it long ago. It's all figured out. You don't need to think about that stuff. All you need to think about is, getting the upper hand on your fellow man and getting what you can for yourself and sitting on the top of your pile of material nonsense.
Yeah. Or mental knowledge that beliefs that, masquerade as knowledge, That was one of the unsolved things. You can go in and do mathematical physics and explore equations, of cosmological big bangs. That was all still undiscovered territory. Or you could go way down into the, the micro, macro, quantum theory and look at the wee small space balls, and, you could. That was the explorer. It was all just in your head, Dale. I mean, I see it now, looking at what I did, studying that stuff. It was just, introspection, lost in a wee mental world, right? And with descriptions of what reality is supposed to be like at scales that you can never sense, right? It could be anybody's story.
And mathematics is utilised in order to take the imaginative conceptual world and somehow transpose it to something that other people can look at and understand. It doesn't make it real.
No, not at all. No. Then they'll attribute it to God, so it's one of God's tools, that he was obviously a mathematician, and he created numbers. That was the first thing he did before he did any of that other stuff, because you need to count 1, 2, the 7 days. Nonsense, just all pish, that's just people with fucking language and sophistry, telling cosmological narratives by way of mathematics. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's all it is, and I think people know that now. Yeah, or at least I hope they do.
But you see what it does there psychologically. It fuels and feeds the explorative nature of people. And if they believe or think that they're getting knowledge and furthering their understanding of their existence, then they're satisfied with that. They don't ponder any further.
Yeah, and they don't know that they're just navel gazing, they're looking at a hole in their arse tail, I mean...
Then they'll start coming out with fucking dark matter, dark energy, fucking multiverses, black holes, and fucking all sorts of gibberish.
Absolute brilliant, yeah.
Mental, in a sane world, these people would be in a mental institution. You know what I mean? Look at the loonies.
Yeah. You get them running about thinking that all of that nonsense can be true. Yeah. You really would. Yeah.
Let's go to Trippyland. These cunts don't need LSD.
Listen, man, I'm not going to stay on for long.
No worries, mate.
I'm kind of knackered, so I'll catch up with you soon, though, eh? Maybe we can have a wee chat tomorrow or something.
No worries, mate.
I thought you had a wee break.
Yeah.
I'll get back to your patients.
You broke up there, mate. I never heard what you said there.
I just said I'll catch you soon. Huh?
No worries.
We can have a longer chat and I'll let you back to the children.
Cool.
Look after them, mum. Yeah. See ya.
See you later, mate. Yeah, we've been never ending, Stuart Lundy, that's the thing, innit? Confined space within a bigger confined space, it's the infinite regress again, there's no end. It's back again, man. Wow.
Even entertain the idea that we exist inside a sphere. No, I can entertain all possible ideas. You know, I've even entertained the idea that we exist inside a sphere and we're on a level playing within it.
And?
Adele. How about that, Paul?
What about it? What
about that?
What did you know?
Did you hear?
You missed theory. See, the problem with you is, again, you're thick as fuck. Because what you would have heard if you paid any fucking attention was I can entertain ideas and notions without asserting them as fact.
The difference between you and I, Del, is I don't pull things out of...
Difference between you and I is that I'm clever and you're a fucking retard. So, that's the major difference, son. Go away now. Again, he's another one of these fucking dipshit clowns. You know, you can't talk about stuff. So there's a huge difference when you talk about possibilities, right? And you're just discussing possibilities, contemplations, thoughts. There's a huge difference between that and saying, by the way, I believes and I'm certain that this is factual. Massive difference. No, probably no, Jacko. Probably not. Because it wouldn't give you a uniform down direction. Unless, of course, there's some unknown factor that's yet to be discovered. But the possibilities are there, you know. That's the problem in Beyond Belief. You know, people like him use wee clips thinking that they're proving something, but you know, it's stated. I can entertain. If you listen to it again, I can entertain the possibility. The clues out there. I can entertain the possibility. Now, I would like somebody to tell me how that translates to an assertion, to something being a factual, real world thing. RV's against the truth, Hungry Life. I don't know why you've not figured that out yet. Snap out of it. I'm afraid to call because the majority of people are just full of fucking hot air and pish, and they're scared of me, you know, confronting it head on. Because people just want an audience. They don't want to have a discussion. They just want people to, you know, think that they're messiahs and that they're windswept and interesting and mystical and they've got answers to the metaphysical fucking existence and all that rubbish. Well, that's it, you know, exactly one man, he's a detector. They can sniff out mistakes. I've made many mistakes. You're allowed to make mistakes. Again, this is a messiah complex he's coming in. You know, like, you're not allowed to be wrong. You can't make mistakes. Well, being wrong and making mistakes is how you have progress. Why would they need to explore restricted areas? I'm just one man. Why does everybody think it falls at my feet? Because I realise it and I'm the one that says it, that somehow the responsibility now falls at my feet. A guy in a fucking housing scheme in Scotland without any fucking two halfpennies to rub together. Oh, aye, I'll just magically, you know, get the logistical fucking access to, you know, thousands of people and materials and ships and fucking... People are delusional. I'm on board, you know, count me in. I'm up for it. You can't say that, Jacques, because now you're going to be taken as asserting that that's a factual statement. The university interviews are going to be taken up a notch once we get by this period. When we go to the new year, the fake new year, we'll see what's happening. Especially when we come into spring and summertime. It's going to be great. See, it's been a dip for me over the last month, just with circumstances, family, and things going on in life. I'm sure you understand. So once we get by this wee period, I'll be back to it. That's that beyond belief. You don't think of me like what? What have I missed? Of course, it's just another story, Ron Mercer. That's why we can't depend on a band of merry men representing us to come back and tell us stories of what they discovered. Good, Paulie.
Just don't make up things, Del. Just don't pull things out of thin air.
Fuckface, Paulie. That's exactly what's required, mate. Don't, all these dipshits online and guys like this fucking pedo toucher that's coming back continually. They're not going to offer you anything. They're never going to make any difference in the world whatsoever. They're just going to tie you up in knots, thinking you're the victim to some mystical fucking, magic peoples. So you need to speak to your fellow man. You need to reason with them and lieu a process of reasoning so that it's potent and that it maybe snap them out of their delusional bubble that they're existing in. No, I don't, Matthew. I don't think it's the end. To say, physically, there is no such thing as nothing. So if you transpose that to our existence and consciousness or experience, then for me, there's no experience of no thing.
Hi, Del.
Maybe it's just wishful thinking. Hello. Sadie, how you doing, mate?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm good, mate. Good.
Everything okay?
Aye, alright, mate. Alright.
Family okay?
Yeah, good, mate. Good.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
So, hey, I've been thinking a lot about the force that is actually. Well, you were talking about maybe there is a force that we're going up.
Well, the possibility of the force going up, but that would be in reference to our situation, which dictates the downward direction for us because it's the opposite. But if you're outside that reference frame, it could be anything,
But I was thinking it could maybe be like some kind of magnetic force.
Aye, well,
when you have the field, when they react to each other.
Sorry, what do you mean?
When you have two magnets,
yeah.
the repulsiveness of it.
Yeah.
This could be like a upward force, right?
Well,
if you would be on top of it.
Well, that's the thing, mate. I'm sure you've heard me talking about the magnetism, and if there's a flow direction for me when we look at magnets, there's some sort of flow going on, and you can kind of detect that. And you can see. I showed the Eric Laithwaite example of the rack and pinion. Where he showed it analog. It was a physical cog interacting with the rack, and then he showed it with the magnets, and they still get the same effect. So you can see there that there's definitely some sort of flow. And that would be directional, which would fit, but again, that's in regards to magnetism, and the majority, the stronger magnets are man-made. They're not a naturally occurring thing. I think magnite, but it's very weak in magnetic properties apparently. But that's not going to account for things that are no subject to a magnet then. But using that as an example, as a kind of visual representation,
Yeah.
you know, fair enough. But I would have to.
Yeah, I'm just speculating. You know?
Of course.
I don't know.
That's why I said, you know, the options, obviously we know motion and what's required. So if we were going to assert, you know, something like a floor, we would have to have two sort of parallels where the sky or what's above, there's some sort of energy flow that's straight down in any given point on it. But I think was it Gleam was talking about, you know, the toroidal field, but a toroidal field's something that goes to a central point. Do you know what I mean? So then down
the vortex.
Aye, but then if you're out here, down's not going to be somewhere like, it's not really down, it's kind of diagonal towards that central point now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But that's not what we experience in reality. Sorry.
But then if the magnet would be super big,
yeah,
and we would be on top of it, or the magnet could be like, you know, a charge electromagnetism, like the way they charge magnets, you know, they charge metal. Could be like a process like this, and then on top of it, because of the field, would start something that is exactly like this space, or exactly the opposite.
But that's it. I mean, we agree. I think that there has to be something flowing in a particular direction to denote the direction. But you know, I mean, good times for all. Zach, he had the Van de Graaff machine, and he was showing how things reacted to that. You know, so that there you can see a directional flow using something like that as well. So there is analog examples of, you know, things having direction depending on the flow or whatever it is. You know? So that's what I'm saying. You know, we've either got to have a surface contact and another, and even in that scenario, it's still the same. It's something coming into contact with something else and pressing against it in order to create what we call motion. You know. So,
yeah, it's all about the prime mover then, huh?
Yeah, well, that's the problem, isn't it? I mean, how are we going to get to that? Because if you're always part of the effects, then you're never going to know or fully understand the prime mover.
Exactly. We can only see the effects.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. So what we're trying to do is look at these effects and then conceptualize, you know, what's maybe the ultimate, you know, force or whatever else. That's why, as I say, they're coming up with fucking black holes and dark matter and dark. You know, when they come up against the problem, they're just inventing shite.
Like the God particle.
Exactly. That's it.
I mean, it's all just splitting the atom.
Yep.
Just like the flat Earth within a sphere, the same thing.
Listen, fuckface, we're having a decent conversation here, and you've not got the intellect. You don't have the intellect to join in, so that's why you're coming out with that pish, son.
I appreciate the fact you guys are talking about reasonable things.
You don't understand what we're talking about. You have no clue about what we're talking about because you're not interested. You're a gatekeeping pedo. Now fuck off.
Dale, I was at this before you, pal.
Shut up.
Remember
son.
that.
You've
That's
never
a
been
fact.
the truth.
You never changed that.
You're not interested in
never
truth.
changed that,
The only thing you've been at is shitting your nappy and spewing shite out your mouth since fucking
I was making flat Earth videos before you, Dale. Remember
son,
that.
Whatever. Oh well. Do you want a gold star, you fanny? Fuck off.
Please do. Yes. 3 gold stars.
Anyway,
three
I'm
gold
speaking
stars.
to somebody decent. I don't want to waste my time speaking to you, wee fud.
Go ahead, carry on.
So I mean that's it, mate. You know, I think we understand that there has to be something that's dictating direction. You know.
Yeah. Then we come to the discussion of what's physicality.
Yeah. But
the physicality of things would make up a direction, because I've been looking a lot into near-death experiences, people, interviews, and it's very interesting what they say when they leave the body. They are still conscious.
Yeah.
So about 60-70% of the people all say that where they go, if their body is dead, you know, clinically dead, is actually their home. That's where they feel at home, like they're coming home.
Familiar.
Yeah, exactly. And there are some of them that even say they have like some kind of relatives or friends there.
Yeah.
You know, And yeah, it's all like this mental thing. It's a mental universe in that sense, huh?
Well, that's what
So
I
it's
think. That's
mhm,
that's what my personal thoughts are. That
mhm.
it's mind before matter.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, there's correlations with that as well. People that take DMT, you hear a
Yeah,
lot of people saying that it's quite similar to the near death, where they've got a feeling of familiarity, although they
yeah,
can't fully grasp it. Again, I get back to the problem. You would never grasp the full of the entirety of eternity and the infinite, because it would be something finite then. But just being in a place of familiarity is definitely a common theme.
yeah. It's very interesting, and
That's
the way they also describe the Earth. They can suddenly see it all in one go.
mhm.
And yeah, it's pretty interesting that it's
This
that we are not this body.
exactly. There was even tests done on people that were in apparent, vegetative states.
Mhm,
That was quite an interesting avenue that I went down. And there was even experimentation done on severing the two hemispheres of the brain,
mhm.
and people still being who they were. There was no change. Going back again to what I was saying to Gav about an essence.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
unchanging, yada yada. But if you damage physical components of the machinery, then you're not going to have access to it. It's just like I think it was Ike said it years ago. If you break an aspect of the receiver, it doesn't mean that the transmission stops.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah,
I mean I'm on board with a lot of that stuff, mate. There's guys like Richard Penrose and Sheldrake, people like that.
yeah.
I think they've done.
Sheldrake's been doing it for a long
They've
time
done
now.
some kind of extensive studies.
Yeah.
And
And they all conclude the same thing.
aye, exactly.
It's a mental universe, and somehow we get born here. I don't know how, but I think that's the greatest mystery, yeah.
Exactly,
And I
mate.
think that's what they're hiding also.
That's what I think. I think as I say, for me, getting to the outer reaches, understanding the place, more fully would give us a bit more clarity. It might even awaken something inside that's there that just needs to be triggered by
Exactly.
a certain experience. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, like these people, their experience is very real. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm talking also about people like pastors or
yeah,
all kinds of walks of life.
exactly.
When they get there, they all say the same thing. It's and it has to, it's
Well,
they wouldn't be lying. They wouldn't have a reason to lie.
that's it, and that's one of the things I spoke years ago to materialist thinkers, where they would say, it's the coping mechanism, it's the brain, and it releases the DMT, and these experiences are just coping mechanisms. And but again, you've got to ask the question: coping mechanisms for who?
Yeah.
Even by making the statement, they're invoking a form of duality, that there's a separate aspect internally from the machinery.
I mean, there was a guy that was 10 days. He was 10 days. He was clinically dead, and he came back 10 days.
Yeah.
And he could tell stories about people. Like he saw a sister saying something or doing something in another, and he couldn't know.
Yeah.
All these things were verified, afterwards.
Exactly.
So that goes beyond the material. That
course.
right there proves it.
Look, there's so
That's
much.
just a story, City. It can't be verified.
There's so much.
Sorry?
That's just a story about the guy living for 10 days, supposedly dead. That can't be
Russian
verified.
vids. We're having a listen. We're having a discussion. None of these are asserting anything to be fact. See when I'm going to assert something that's factual, it'll be preceded by that statement. This is a fact, and then I'll say what I'm going to say. But what we're doing here is just having a discussion, like sane people can have an actual discussion with each other. You're just insane. You're a fucking retard.
You didn't hear what he said. He said it was verified.
Fuck off, you wee wank.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know why that's even
You said it was verified,
relevant.
City. You said it was 10 days verified.
He's just
How do we verify that?
So they just pay him the attention. He's a delusional
Go ahead,
fucktard.
guys. Just carry on. I just want to correct that.
He's just a mess.
Correct
He's just a total
that.
mess.
You don't even know the interview.
JD, you
I'm
can't
talking
verify the guy actually lived.
You
He supposedly
cannot-
died for 10
you
days
don't-
and survived and came back
Hey.
to life. I can't verify that.
You don't even know which interview I'm talking about. I mean,
Well, how can you verify the guy actually was dead for 10 days?
So
came back
hang
to
on a
life?
minute. So hang on a minute, because I can
Go
clear
ahead,
this
carry
up.
on, guys.
No, Russian
I just
vids.
wanna-
Russian
get
vids.
out here.
Can you point to the part where Siddy asserted that any of these things were factually correct?
Yeah, he said it was verified.
No, he didn't.
Okay, what did you say? Did you say that or not, City?
I did not say that.
Okay, we'll rewind this. We'll hear it later.
Shut
That's
up,
fine.
you wee wank. Well, I rewind it and look at the absolute clown you've made of yourself again, son.
Why,
still
why
hanging
do
about
you, why do
here.
you even interrupt us?
I know.
Go ahead, continue on.
Why do you interrupt us?
Because when you stated the guy, why would you even bring up
Don't
a
even
guy
speak
why
to
the
him.
guy supposedly survived
Sadie,
10 days of being dead?
Sadie,
What
I can't be
what do
fucked.
you do? What do you do during the day, RV? Do you have a job, or what? Do you go to school, or what do you do?
My job is to spread the truth and not go around in circles.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah, not
Well,
talking about
you're
things
doing
you
a
can't
great
prove.
job, man.
Not talking about things. Oh, a man died. He was dead for 10 days. You're
Yeah.
talking like some miracle, and you can't even verify this is actual fact.
Oh no, I
You're
don't.
passing on a story you heard secondhand.
Listen,
Don't do that ever again.
listen, you wee
You hear
fucking
me?
wank.
Don't ever do that again.
See you,
I
you wee
don't
fucking
ever
prick.
do that
See
again.
you wee wank. You deserve to be punched. Fuck
Oh
out,
my
you wee
God.
fucking
Do it now.
creepy prick.
Do it, Del.
You
You're a
come and see me
disappointment.
anytime, you wee fucking wanky.
Diddy, you were following me before you were following.
Sadie, I'm sorry I cut that off, mate, because I can't listen to that wee fucking wank. I do wish harm on that wee fucking wanker. He's a paedophile, touching, creepy wee fucking antagonistic wank. He deserves to be punched fuck out of every single time somebody sees him. You come and see me, you wee fucking knob cheesy. You've no got the fucking cojones to even entertain the thought of coming and visiting me, you wee wank. See what I mean, people? I'm out to spread the truth. He's just interrupting decent people having a conversation about contemplations. I would get violent. People at Russian vids deserve violence on them. I hope somebody does get violent with Russian vids. I hope somebody takes them out. And anybody that's like him. Because they're the scourge of fucking human beings. Somebody must know what he is. Somebody must. He deserves to be put down. Appreciate it, you know, Sidney having a decent wee conversation there. It's just a pity we've got these fucking gimps hanging about. They're all showing colours. Look at their wee team. Look, there's the other one in now. Rosha. Another fucking creepy toucher. This is what I'm saying. As time goes on, you'll start to see these creepy cunts. They've got no option but to break cover and start showing their allegiances. Right? Now you're seeing the teamwork on the false dichotomies. The flat earth and the globe earthers are all one and the same, these fucking idiots. Right. I can only apologise for the disruptions, but there's nothing we can do about it, unfortunately. As I say, unless somebody's got the ability to go and take out the wee fucking gimps, find out where they are, and get them fucking dealt with. They're just fucking nuisances. Next time, Sidney will catch you. As I say, we'll see what happens in the future. But really, what you people need to do, if we want to have decent conversations, you must email me. If you email me privately or send a link privately, then it's only going to be us in the call. If I have to put it in the public chat box, we're just going to get them endlessly. Fuck's a lighter, man. Can't find my lighter. What's happening? I'm a disgrace to the community. Good, because I'm no part of any community, you wee fucking wank. So good. What the fuck's going on? Yeah, that's it. Exactly, Mr. Cheswick, that's what they're hoping for. So see, this is why I encourage people, you need to send me an email. If you want to come in and have a chat, we can have a chat just like me and Suddy were having. You know, if you send me the email, then that's what we get. Be an isolated chat. There's not going to be interruptions. Joey Rocha is a clown. Of course he is. Rocha versus Delph, whatever. Get these clips. We'll arrange a charity night, right? And what will it consist of? Is we'll have a ring, a boxing ring, right? And it'll be me versus every single one of them, one at a time. If there's 12 of them, it'll last 12 rounds. Fuck them. Make no apologies. People like that try to antagonise you like that in real life. I would slap fuck at them. And I make no apologies for it. They deserve it. There is no communication with people like that. People like that would try and back you into a corner and then cry because you lash out at them. Fuck them. If I behave like that, that's what's going to happen to them. Aye, aye. Right, Joey. Bring them all. Bring them all. Love it. Aye. Go to the Gematria blame calculator. Type in some numbers. See, there you go. Approved stuffs. Aye. See, try to tie you into some sort of community. As if I should be responsible. Fuck off. Fuck right off. If you've got an issue with what I'll represent in regards to the objective inquiry, by all means bring it to me and I'll address it. The rest of it, you can go and get fucked. I make no apologies for any of it. Cheers, Flat Earth Bear. YouTube removed liked videos. No, I didn't notice that. Mark of Melbourne, get me on. Mark, I'm just about to go, mate. I wish you'd arrived earlier. We can have a discussion the next time I'm on. So I say, you just need to send an email. Obviously you did, but if the next time I'm on live, send me an email and I'll check the emails. Polly would fold as soon as he was in my presence. I wouldn't even need to swing anything. It's just not going to happen. Stop luster. Same old crap. You know where I live. They've known where I've lived since day dot. I've told everybody. I show you. I invite people here. Not once has any of these people ever showed up. If they did show up, they kidded on they were somebody else, which again shows you they're spineless. So just a reflection on these people, you know. We've had in the link. What video are you talking about, Mark? So I said I would love to have that conversation with you, Mark of Melbourne. And I'll get back to the point. The anarchy thing. Anarchy has to start in the mind. There's varying aspects of, you know, anarchy as a social philosophy, but that's when you're entering into the realms of a society and thinking. Again, we have to look at the assumption that it's a good thing to have a society in the first place. You know, so anarchy in the mind is first and foremost. There's varying aspects of social anarchy that I'd love to have a discussion about, because I don't side with any of them. But what I know for a fact is that it has to start here before we get to the practical lived life aspect, you know. Well, we need to stand together, closed channel, but what's going to happen is through time, things are going to become apparent. You know, all this talk, be wary of the people shouting unity and community in this, people, because they're the fakes. Through time and people's walks, you will see the real people. And these fuckers, these motherfuckers, will start to show their allegiance. Now, you can already see it with varying aspects of the truth and what's a necessity and what's useful to people. These people don't represent any of that. None of it. They just want to keep you in bewilderment, confusion. Unity will happen when it happens naturally. Okay? Unity is not going to happen because we dipshit manipulators demand it. Unity will happen when the shit floats to the surface and everybody can see it. That's what's going to happen. There's a period of time for that to happen. But we can see the cracks. Look at them right now. I mean, if you're awake and you're aware, you will see massive aspects that's happened here this evening. Where allegiances lie. Who's working with who. Mark, why do you keep screaming let me on? Right, do you know what? Just for Mark of Melbourne, I'm going to go and find his email. Where is it? I've got loads of emails here I need to get through. Fucking hell, man. Must be here somewhere. Get on it next. Why? The hell is it? I've got an absolute ton of emails here. What date is it? When would that have been? Just bear with me a minute, people. Looking for. That's there. Right. Mark's demanding that he gets let in. So. There you go, Mark. I'll give you 5 minutes. And I'm off skis. I'm really going to go in 5 minutes anyway, so. The only one that talks about hate is you, son. You know your wee cronies are the ones that spew hatred, no me. Right, so I'm going to give you a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Aye.
Thanks for letting me on.
No worries.
I just woke up, so I'm a bit grub.
So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. You need to turn YouTube off, Mark.
Thanks for letting me on. Sorry
No
about
worries.
it. Turning off YouTube. How's that? Is that better?
No, that's fine now. Well, I'm pretty tired, Mark, so, you're demanding that you get let on right now, so, we can have this conversation in more detail at a later date, but obviously it couldn't wait, so what's so important?
Oh, I just woke up and saw your face on the screen. I wanted to say hello.
Yeah, right.
And I didn't realise you were coming to the end of the show when I started approaching you to get on, but I thought we could cover a few of the points went over yesterday or the day before and focus more on what we can do about it rather than just knowing about it, because there's a lots of people with anarchy in their head, but nobody's organised really.
But organised, see, this is what I was trying to point at, Mark. What you're talking about is a social movement. I'm talking about anarchy in the individual, and you're taking that and you're now saying that an individual anarchist should somehow formulate with other people to form some sort of social practice.
Well, an anarchy is a social organisation.
But there is factions. There is factions. It goes from the mind internally of being an individual anarchist internally in your own mind. Then it moves outwards into the social political realms of societies and physical everyday living. But there's different factions of anarchism there that partake and follow a different line of thought.
Yeah, well, if a group of anarchists wants to get together because they're of a like mind, right, to organise things and create a community, well, a community is formed, and the certain basic necessities have to be attended to in these situations, because not all anarchists in this anarchistic society will be working men. There could be some elderly, there could be some sick, there could be some problems that come up. So we have to be able to cover the basic necessities first.
Exactly.
As a foundation to build the rest of the anarchy on.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree.
And there are systems already devised mechanically to do that in the most efficient way, and it is happening on this earth today. I am involved in doing this particular action today. and it's working today. And yes, we get it off the model. The model's been there all along, but people have misrepresented it. They've They've corrupted the whole message. They've twisted it. They've used their best sophists to twist the message and hijack the message. But the message is really simple. The golden rule is the basis of the foundation of the society, the moral foundation. The perfect law of liberty is the world, is the law, where where the liberty is the law. There's no harming one another or stealing, all that bad stuff. That's the law of that society. And there are certain mechanical things we need to do to organise to save the needy of society, and that is what Jesus taught the apostles to do. He taught the people to network. He taught the people to minister to the people, and the funds would come from free will offerings. There was no taxes. The that Jesus Christ set up that lasted hundreds of years throughout Europe was the most pure anarchy the world has ever seen. And the power of that anarchy, the power of a free society, was enough to overcome the Roman Empire to a point where it was able to survive and thrive as a republic within the Roman Empire. The true Christians. This is what they were doing. They were going to towns and they were setting up their congregations. And what it was is it was a government. It was a government. If someone in one part of the town needed something, the ministers would all network together, and the need would be fulfilled without having to go to the state and receive the funds that come by force, which Jesus said you weren't to do that because obviously it's against natural law. So we need to be in the process of developing an alternative to cover the basic necessities of the people that are involved. That's what we have to work on. And I can show you.
Mark, I understand all these things and I agree with you totally, right? But it always comes back to the point again. How are you ever going to get any of that to go when people don't even understand the workings of their own internal function, that being their own mind?
Well, that's part of the education, right? But
So first and foremost, you have to be that as an individual. Then you have to, plant those seeds and try and spread that, amongst your fellow man, so that they can then start to formulate an understanding of their own being and how their own mind's working, right? So that they can come to the understanding and the realizations that maybe me and you come to. But without them getting that process in the first place, what we are talking about is futile, because there's not enough.
No, because what we're doing while we're waiting is we're finding people like you and I that are along the road a bit and understand and already understand. So we're looking for the lost sheep, if you like. Like you said, once you get to this point, you're in the wilderness, and then what do? You need to find each other.
Exactly.
And obviously, we don't agree on all little things, but we can agree on some major principles.
Well, what we have to agree on is the objective. That's the whole point. The subjective stuff should never be coming into the discussion whatsoever.
And you know what the objective is? The ultimate objective is to live in a free society. That's the objective. Now, it doesn't have to happen to the whole world at once. It can live and exist in parallel with the world out there. Okay. On the same face of the earth, it'll just be a separate jurisdiction altogether.
But what you also have to consider the aspect of society and where you think that's a right or a thing that should happen in the first place as well. Why should people not live as isolated individuals, self-empowered, sustained, whatever?
Because no man's an island, and you're just
negating it. That's not enough by just negating it. You can't just dismiss it with hand waving, Mark. You have to consider it as a viable, position. That you can be an anarchist as an individual. That you don't have to contribute or be part of anybody's society. or work as a
No, but-
whole or a team or
Yeah,
any of
you're-
that stuff.
you're talking about
What you're doing is asserting that as a given that that's just the way it should be. And what I'm saying is it doesn't have to be like that.
I'm saying that's kind of like the next logical step. If you're an anarchy in your own self,
Right. The next logical step is a system of a society, which is a system. Well, what I'm saying to you is why even formulate a society in the first place? Where's the necessity for that?
well, I'd call it whatever you want. I'd call it more like a separate jurisdiction. Call it whatever you want. I mean, the fact where if there's a group of anarchists that have come together and are organising to look after each other, I mean, what would you call that? You could call that whatever you want.
What I call that's breeding dependency, Mark.
Call it independency.
No, it's breeding. It's breeding dependency. Because as soon as you start that process, then people become dependent upon it.
Well, we do need to depend on one another.
Well, then it can be corrupted.
Well, like you said, we can figure out that corruption if it happens, and then because there's no leaders that have got 4-year terms or anything like that. Because it's so intimate, the corruption shows very, very quickly, and not any leaders or anything like that. If we see any funny business going on, it's very easy to rectify.
Mm-hmm. And I get that, but what I'm saying to you is just to postulate and consider that what you're offering is a system. So it's a manipulation. It's a system of moderating and working together as a society. What I'm saying to you is that why would you even entertain that has to be that way? The possibility is that it doesn't have to be that way.
Well, the
possibility can be every man for himself.
Yeah, but see, every man for himself. What about the anarchist who he's in a wheelchair, but he's got the same spirit. He wants to be an anarchist, but he can't really help many people. It's the whole thing works on love. So we have to be able to cover the others that are in our same mindset as brothers. We have to cover their basic necessities.
Yeah.
That's the purpose of being an anarchist. So for the reasons,
but
we don't have to go back to
that's not an anarchist. That's identifying your subjectivity. Because how are you going to deal with psychopaths? How are you going to deal with people who don't have the same subjectivity, the same wiring that you have? How are you going to deal with them when you're imposing that system?
Well, are you saying if they don't want to be in it, or I mean, it's not for everybody. It's just for the ones that had that idea.
Right.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. It's not. The whole world won't change at once. It's
exactly. Because this is a problem, because what you're doing is identifying your subjective essence, right? Your idealism, your ideal, right? But this reality is no like that. This reality is a complexity. It's not an ideal. Right, there is varying character, there is varying, types of being here. So how would a system, how would a subjective system work for the whole? Which is why I'm saying reality, the real reality is that it is an every man for himself situation we're in.
Oh, it is. We're all individuals in this, but we need to gather together. Right. Let's say,
Mark, stop. I just want to stop you because in your statement there, I need to address it. We need, right? You're saying we need to. So where do you get the we need? Where's that coming from?
The context of the we need to, because the options are, for what I'm about to say, the options are not really there. So let's say we want to be free and we want to have a child and be together. Now, the first step that people make that is incorrect is they go and get a marriage license. Okay, so that brings the state into the agreement. Then they have the baby and they get it registered, and the product of that union belongs to the state. Okay, that's the first problem people make, because that forms the foundation of the social contract, and before long the baby will be receiving benefits and so forth and so on. So the reason we need to do this, what I'm going to talk about, is to avoid that. Now, so two anarchists come together. under holy matrimony, no need for a state license. They have a baby, and the baby does not get numbers, right?
So I agree. You know, it's like to like, right? So I can agree with you that cool. I could live with you in that system. I could live with you in that, you know, a necessity system where we look out for each other and we attend to the bare necessities of everyday living, and we work as a community and we help each other, yada yada yada. Totally on board with that. Get it, right? But when we start trying to impose that as a whole to the rest of the reality, then that's when you're taking your subjectivity and trying to impose it over the objective. Now, what I'm saying is I've got an issue with that. Because, fine, I can identify with you and I can say, right, Mark, cool, there's a when we'll go here and we'll live as a community, and this is a structure that we can create so that we work with each other, right? That's going to work for us if we agree and that's the mindset we are. Okay, that's fine. But this reality, not everybody is going to go to that at all.
We can exist amongst the rest of the world, and it's a parallel system. You see that they don't. We can see them, but they can't see us.
So that's what I'm saying. Aye. So the equilibrium would be found if each, you know, subjective entity identifies what they are, and then they align and partake in whatever they want to partake in with other like minds. That's fine. That's where it has to remain. That's in the realms of subjective. To try and take that and impose it as a system of objective over the whole is useless. This is what I'm saying about societies and saying we need and we're supposed to live like this and we're supposed to live like that. We shouldn't be doing that.
I'm not saying all society is supposed to live like that, but I'm saying we can create an alternative society that can live like that. It doesn't have to be the whole world that lives like that, but when a man and a woman has a child and he doesn't want to register that child is a free child. There has to be an alternative support system to support these children that are born free, because the alternative is the state owns the child, and that's why we need to do it. Because the first point is the babies that come from this situation don't have any numbers, so they don't have access to healthcare and government agencies and whatever. The net we build must supply the basic necessities for these children that are coming into the world, people that are retiring who think it's not right to take from the state. Okay, they can.
So basically, living in tribes, living in clans.
Well, call them congregations, clans, whatever.
Just the same it's happening in you know, other parts of the world right now, where there's clans, there's groups who live isolated from the way we live, and they have their own rules, they have their own systems. You know, They identify with each other, and what works for them. But that's the thing; they're no over here trying to impose their system onto us. That's where I just draw the line. That's fine. So I think we agree on it. But, you know, statements like we need suggests as a whole, you know, it's like a generalised kind of statement. I don't agree with it, you know. But I can say, well, I identify myself. I know what would work for me, and I'm willing to partake in, you know, whatever. So that's fine. If you want to formulate that, I'll come and give it a bash.
Well, I sent you that email, and I've dropped a couple of further links down there. I'm not sure if you've seen those links. But if you get a bit of time, go and read those, and it'll give you a big overview of what I'm
I get what you're talking about. I just think that you misunderstand where I'm coming from. You know, I get you. I totally get you. And in an ideal, you know, I'd like to live a life like that. In an ideal reality, right? But that would be me deluding myself into thinking that everybody that's alive and every human that's ever going to be alive can be wired that way and, you know, live like that.
Yeah, but that's wrong. That's wrong, because maybe not everybody will be wired that way.
Exactly.
Maybe we don't need everybody. We need a critical mass, and then what we can do is
a critical mass for what? A critical mass for what though?
A critical mass to function as a society.
No, because you can function like that in a very small group right now, Mark. What you're
Yeah,
saying
that's
is,
right.
what you're saying is, you want to transpose that, make it bigger, so that you can impose it as the whole, because you need critical mass.
No, the thing is, it works on a fractal scale. So it's individuals, it's small groups, and then there's a lot of small groups, and
Right.
they just all network together.
Aye.
They just all. It's not one ruler at the top, right? So once you get to that point, there are certain laws of the world that you don't have to abide by anymore, such as vaccinating your kids, taking them to public school, like the Amish. They've put themselves together enough to where they don't have to accept vaccinations. They're getting exemptions here, right? So we're just slowly processing out, and we're telling the state, look, we can look after ourselves, okay? And then we've found in the law that if we do it a particular way, and I've got the book over there, if you do it in a particular way, the state acknowledges it, and you're mandatorily exempted from having to file.
Yeah.
You don't have to set it up as a company. You don't have to use any of their legal commerce frameworks. And the good news is that's what Jesus was setting up when he was around. It's the same plan.
So that's again, there's going to be issues because there's going to be dependency there. If it's working on, bartering and trading with each other for, the necessities, then somebody's eventually is going to become corrupt in that because there's a dependency there. But for me, it has to be fully functional as an individual, has to be self-sustainable and rely solely on themselves. First and foremost, that has to be the basics.
That's the first building block, a man and his family, absolutely.
But an isolated individual, that's it. You have to cater for the individual first and foremost.
Of course.
Exactly.
Of course.
So we agree.
But yeah, we absolutely. I've been agreeing with you the whole time. The only thing is, once you're established yourself as an anarchist in your mind and you're looking after your house, it's not a bad thing to meet other people that are doing that too, and come together and help each other out, and it'll be a system that's much more economical than the one we have today. And the Christians who survived the rise and fall of the decline and fall of the Roman Empire, they thrived and survived through Europe because they lived on this system of charity. While the Empire of Rome was falling all about them, they were all looking after each other, and they thrived.
I don't know about any of that, Mark, because it's irrelevant to me. I never lived it, and I'm only reading it in storybooks. So I don't know what's went on before, to be honest with you, man. So listen, mate, I apologise, but I'm going to have to cut it because I'm so tired. I need to go, mate. It's 11 o'clock here now, and I'm going to be up at 5 o'clock with the kids or something. So.
You're right. Thanks for letting me on, anyway.
We can continue it when I'm fresher, mate, and my attention's there. But
okay.
All right, man.
All right, buddy. Thanks for letting me on.
Cheers, bud. Cheers, people. See you very soon. Take it easy.